Anytime I talk to people about school safety, I just kind of compare it to this three-legged stool. When it comes to the physical safety of any place, whether it's a school, a shopping mall, a restaurant, a movie theater, you name it, you've got to have three things that are in place. One of those things is trained people. The next thing you have to have is proven processes. You have to have policies and processes in place that work. And then lastly, you have to have the adequate technology and equipment. So when any one of those three legs of the stool is compromised, obviously that opens you up to some vulnerabilities. And thankfully, we've been able to figure some things out in buildings that help us just to shore some things up in those areas. As of the start of this last school year, 24-25, we had in place, probably for the first time, a consistent EOP in all of our schools, in all of our buildings. And it's a robust document, upwards of 40 pages is what I was able to kind of pare it down to. Another success is just our district's ability to establish a mass reunification plan. Whereas before, the principals were kind of in charge of figuring out how they were going to reunify their students in the event of a large building evacuation. One thing that I've tried to tell people is on that very bad day, there is something that happens where, there is loss of life and law enforcement, first responders have to come into the picture and take care of an impacted site. The school staff cannot necessarily be relied upon to handle the duties of reunification. And so what I've done is with the Lincoln Center staff, we have a pretty large administrative staff here at Lincoln Center that kind of takes care of the whole district. And what I've done is I've tapped into about 50 of those people, trained them for the last year and a half on reunification process, assigned them specific roles, responsibilities, duties during reunification. We've made partnerships with some organizations throughout the city of Billings to help us with setting up a reunification sites. One of the things I've learned in this position is there is no magic formula. There's no magic bullet. There's no one answer to solve school safety. The process, the conversations, that's the answer we're looking for. So if we can continue to talk about things, train people, and just keep the conversations going and moving forward, that's the solution we're looking for. We spend a lot of our time preparing for these low frequency, very high impact events like a school shooting. Lord willing, nothing like that ever happens. And we will spend hours and hours preparing for those things. When I'm doing armed intruder training, I tell people it's like getting upset about spending $60 on bear spray at Costco. You buy the canisters of bear spray hoping to never ever deploy it, but it's sure nice to have in your back pocket if you need it. Certainly what we're seeing in Billings, and I think really across the state, and it's probably safe to say across the country, is just the challenges with student behaviors and tied to mental health. Post-COVID, obviously, we've seen a lot of decline with our kids and their behaviors, mental health. And sadly, a lot of it's coming from the home. We know that. It starts at home. A lot of parents struggled during COVID, and that just trickled down to their kids. And so we're still picking up the pieces, and I think we're going to be recovering for a long time from the impacts of what happened during those couple of years. And so it's really difficult to address all of the needs that we have with limited dollars, whether it's lack of cameras, aging buildings, intercom systems, all of those things that just don't allow us to do what we can to ensure the ongoing safety of our students and staff. I would love to see at the college level, here's what you're walking into, and just that, again, that reality piece of this is not the olden days when all the school doors were open and parents and community members just get to walk freely into buildings, and it was just a very utopian feeling. We're in an age where we have people out there who want to do bad things, and again, while it's an unfortunate reality, it's the reality in which we live. And so I think just the awareness, and for new teachers to just have that intrinsic desire to learn everything they can about keeping their kids safe, doing what they need to do, whether or not they understand it or not. When they sign up to do this job and they have kids in their classroom, those parents who send those kids to school every day, are expecting those teachers to do everything in their power to keep their kid alive and safe and send them home at the end of the day. I would say first and foremost, don't let it drop to the bottom of the pile of things to do. Never let school safety initiatives, school safety discussions blip off the radar. Keep them forefront. Next thing I would say is if you do not have a consistent EOP within your school or your district, establish that district EOP so that everybody is talking the same language. And then make sure, one, you educate your leaders in that area and disseminate the information. If your district, your schools can establish a consistent EOP across the board, that will be a great place to start, and disseminating that information is huge.